Hi. I think I remember what I was trying to say. I was thinking about how it's important for us as incarnating beings to help our soul get integrated into the 3D in this lifetime and feel comfortable and safe here. And by helping our soul remember that the 3D is actually a beautiful dimension to exist within, we help them merge with their shadow. Because right now, it's kind of like we are an incarnating being, right? So it's me, and then in between me and my soul is the shadow, which is really our soul's shadow. But instead of getting to meet our soul in relation to the shadow, it's more like this soul is like this separate being. This soul is like this separate being from their shadow rather than being merged together as one. You know what I mean? And so the way that we are like, you should be one with your soul, we need to also encourage our souls to be one with the darkness and one with their own shadow. As an incarnating being, okay, you know what I'm thinking of is whenever I talk to my dad about life and things like that, he was raised in like the Christian faith, so it's one lifetime, and before you're born, you're nothing. After you die, you're nothing. And that's his spiritual lens. And I used to always fight him on it because I was like, no, there's all of this other stuff. But if everything is true, then everything is true because everything exists. Which means just truth in its simplest form lends itself to everything, to every thought. So there's truth in that. And I guess what I'm thinking about is when it comes to being an incarnating person, it's true that you exist and that's simply it, and then you die and there's nothing. So before existence, there is no shadow. There is no ego. You're born, you're you your whole life. You move on, you die, blah, blah, blah. The shadow and the ego, that being there, comes from the soul. And so once the soul comes into this life, I think it's them. The same way that we forget our past lives, we forget that we are an incarnating being with a soul within us that has had many lives, and therefore that is also our life. Through our connection to the ancestry, through the incarnating experience, that relationship, the soul forgets that the ego and the shadow are them. So we all forget things. You know what I mean? And our soul is also trying to remember. And just as they are reminding us of them being within us, we are reminding them of their shadow and of their ego, which is a part of them. And so not to fight them and see it as separate, but to see it all as one. So rather than the ego and the shadow being a barrier between the incarnating being and the soul, it's rather that the soul is basically like disassociating and not recognizing their full selves and viewing themselves too separately. And until they merge, there's always going to be this distinction that makes it difficult to fully work in union. For the soul and the incarnating being, I think it's like a sister relationship. And then for the soul and the shadow and the ego, that is like a oneness, Does that make sense? I'm just, explaining thoughts that are coming to my mind. I'm not saying that this is fact. It's just something I'm thinking of. But that makes sense to me, right? Because then part of the shadow is this fight against the 3D. And so you always hear about these conversations on how to access your 5D life, how to access your 4D life, how to do this and do that, and realm hop and astral project and all these things, live beyond yourself. That's what the digital world is an expression of as well. And the digital world is a powerful thing and a beautiful thing. Like, it's a gift. It's allowed us to remain connected with people that we might have lost touch with had we not had it. But the important thing is remembering that you are also here in the present. And every time we encourage, go higher, expand, without also connecting it to a beauty of being in the present and being in the 3D, we lose ourselves and we lose the joy of the incarnating experience. And our soul loses out on that, and we lose out on that. And us as incarnating beings, we are teachers to our soul, I think. And we are teaching our soul and helping our soul remember the value and the gift of why they chose to come to life in this form, and why we granted them the gift of being in our bodies and being with us, We did that because life is beautiful. I need to stand in the shade for a minute. Because life is beautiful, and life offers a perspective of the spiritual that we don't get to see very often, that souls don't get to see very often. Like, there's just so much magic around us in the 3D. And when you're constantly running from that, you don't get to appreciate it enough. And this fight against the physical and only recognizing the physical as this, dense concentration of light, rather than its own separate incarnating experience, you really kind of erase the incarnating being. It is kind of like erasure of our experience, to only categorize us as dense light is really oversimplifying an entire existence, an entire species in the spiritual. And that is what the spiritual, when expressed on earth, has a tendency to do. And it is a bit of self-hate, because you come to this planet and then all you hear is that, Earth sucks, or being a person sucks, having consciousness is the worst, being in a body sucks, our bodies suck, all of these things that you wanted. And this whole narrative, especially around like star seeds, and it's like, oh, I'm not from here, I hate Earth, blah, 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 blah. I hate being a person, I'm not a people person. I only connect with animals, I just want to be in like the jungle, I don't want to talk to people, blah, 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 blah. All of those narratives, I'm starting to like call bullshit. And when I hear things like that, I feel like it's almost like they're trying to do reverse psychology, People want to keep coming back. Souls want to keep coming back to Earth. Souls want to continue to incarnate, continue to share life with us. They love us. They love being alive. They love being in a body. This is a very cherished experience. It's a gift to get to come to Earth. It's a gift to get to be alive, to have a physical form. Having a physical form is a beautiful thing. It's a gift that the souls miss and that they've lost because of how quickly they've ascended, without understanding that there's a gift to darkness, there's a gift to lower vibrations, there's a gift to density. That's what I was saying about trees. That's why trees are so magical, So that tree totally knocked me off of my perspective, because you lean against a tree, as I'm doing now, and you feel the lightness, though it's so thick and heavy, has a lot of weight to it, but it's light. That is the gift of a body. When treated right, when fed correctly, when living in alignment, the body is a gift. It's being abused by souls, not by the incarnating being, by the soul. And the soul chooses everything that happens in their soul contract. But us as incarnating beings, then we come and we're like, wait a fucking minute, this is bullshit. So then we start to take back power, and then things start to go awry, because it's not working in flow with each other. That's why you want to be the one leading in this lifetime. You're the teacher, you're the guide as an incarnating being. The soul is the student every time they come down here. Don't allow it to dominate and put itself in a position that makes us feel like we have no clue what we're doing. We're very wise. We're very gifted. We are an expression of Mother Nature. 11:22. And we have things that we want to learn from the soul too, and gifts that we want to learn from the soul too. But don't think you don't have anything to offer. There's a reason there's so many people on Earth. There's a reason that we're overpopulated. Overpopulated. Even looking at the existence of water is incredible. I just think that being a human being, or being a being, is a gift. I don't know which way I want to walk. Maybe I'll keep walking this way. But, yeah, I guess that's just what I've been thinking about. I'm always thinking about this. And I feel like my soul is like, yeah, right? Like, I feel like me and my soul are like on the same page. So, and I love my soul. I really do. But I'm like, we have had to have our battles too. And I've cried about it, and I'm sure that they've been upset with me. I'm still trying to figure out what their name is. I don't know. Maybe I do, but I don't know. But, yeah. It feels good to feel connected to your soul. You want to have a good relationship, but you don't want to completely erase yourself from your experience and be so focused on the soul experience that you forget your own gift of being you. You want to cherish yourself during this lifetime. This is the only one you'll get as you. That's what I was saying. Like, there is truth to that whole, you live one life and then you're done. Because at least as an ancestor, this is the only shot you get at being you, Zanala, during this life. That's it. Look at this tree. You see how bumpy it is? It's so cute. Yeah, this is your one shot and then you're done. So you want to cherish it. You want to treat it like it's a gift. And it is a gift. I have to go to Value Village and get hiking boots. I'm excited about that, actually. But I also need to book a hotel for one night. Sleep is really soft. I wasn't expecting that. Constantly surprises you, nature. I'm thinking of cutting off all my hair. I don't know if that's just Mercury retrograde, but I'm thinking of cutting off all my hair. I feel like it would be a good idea. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, that's right. I was saying that there's definitely truth to that experience, to the one life type of thing. So, yeah, but I don't remember what else I was saying, so I'll just leave it alone for now.